We are going to see how the electron transport chain works in aerobic respiration. The input is 10 NHDH, 2 FDH2, and later 6 O2. There are 3 steps for aerobic respiration, but we are only going to look at the final step. It's a cellular process that involves oxygen in the production of energy. A process that generates ATP from potential energy to receive a chemical reaction which generates an electrochemical gradient throughout the inner mitochondrial membrane is oxidative phosphorylation. The production of energy describes oxidative phosphorylation. Chemiosmosis and the electron transport chain makes up oxidative phosphorylation. It happens in the inner membrane of the mitochondria of eukaryotes and in the cell membrane of prokaryotes. Electrons are originally passed rapidly through the gradient, but we are going to view it slowly. We are currently looking at the inner mitochondrial membrane in eukaryotes. Each forward complex is made of proteins. Electrons from NADH and FADH2 passes through each complex. The electron loses energy and a portion of the energy is used to pump hydrogen ions that were located in the matrix into the intermembrane space. NADH becomes NAD plus hydrogen ion and FADH2 becomes FAD during the transport. Electrons on each channel loses energy and some of that is used for potential energy. Hydrogen is not pumped into a channel 2 because FDH2 is too weak to do so. It just donates electrons through complex 2, so it doesn't begin with NHDH in complex 1. Chemiosmosis and the electron transport chain makes up oxidative phosphorylation. Either way, electrons continue to pass through each protein complex and pump hydrogen ions. The hydrogen ions are moved from low concentration to high concentration when it gets pumped by each complex. In the end of the electron transport chain, oxygen is reduced to 1/2 O2 from a molecule to an ion. By the fourth channel, oxygen accepts electrons and then attracts 2 hydrogen ions to form water. Oxygen is received from plants. It enters through the respiratory system and it is important to have it. If oxygen is not present, then the mitochondria is unable to generate newer ATP and the cell will die from lack of energy. We need to keep inhaling oxygen so our cells won't die. Hydrogen diffuses through an integral membrane protein called ATP synthase. ATP synthase is the long complex on the left side and is described as a generator, produced by the flow of hydrogen ions. Originally, the hydrogen ion was located in the intermembrane space and it rises in the matrix from high concentration to low concentration. Chemiosmosis describes the flow of hydrogen ions that goes through ATP synthase. It is churned by the hydrogen ion that was currently diffusing through it. While ATP synthase churns, ATP is regenerated into ATP. When the electrons are removed from the hydrogen atoms, they are used to produce ATP. The overall output of oxidative phosphorylation is 28 ATP, 6 H2O. The amount of ATP that is generated is different for each species. It's the third part of aerobic respiration, accompanied by the electron transport chain and chemiosmosis. We finished explaining oxidative phosphorylation, a series of electrochemical reactions which highly depends on oxygen from plants to provide energy so we can have enough energy to continue living, with hydrogen ions being pumped to any concentration and the passing of electrons through each protein complex. Located in the mitochondria, this series of reactions is completed all the time.